says Mrs. Purchase emptied the water from the vase of flowers over her bed.
And did she?
Of course not. She wouldn't do a thing like that. She's a nice old dear. I've been talking to her a lot lately.
Yes, I've noticed. That'll be the trouble. Mrs. Russell gets jealous when she thinks someone else is getting all the attention.
Saying that it's my fault?
No. It's just that she's wet her bed, so she's found an excuse that'll kill two birds with one stone. You'll get used to her. Come on, I'll put her back to bed for you. She won't mess me about.
Well, I don't see the problem. The GNC approved my program and there's an end to it.
Now, be fair, Mr. Hastings. We made it clear right from the start that the sort of changes you were proposing could only be achieved with the fullest possible consultation with your staff.
Well, no one was kept in the dark.
Consultation means listening as well as talking. I get a feeling of unrest here, and that means you're not going to get the cooperation you need. And I'm suggesting to you, with respect, that it's partly your own fault.
Well, I don't accept that.
I read your article recently.
What did you think?
Well, I found it provocative, as it was probably intended to be.
I hoped it would get a discussion started, certainly.
Yes, but didn't you think that some passages might be bad for morale here?
Like what?
Well, funnily enough, I do happen to have a copy with me. Let's see. I've marked the paragraphs in question. Yes. You discussed the award of a basic certificate for practicing nurses.
I'm hardly the first person to suggest that.
No, but one might have hoped that you'd be a bit more complimentary about the present system, particularly as you're part of it.
I don't think you're being quite fair.
You go on to say that the student nurses we know her will disappear with the introduction of these certificated nurses, plus degree-trained nurses for decision-making. Again, not an original idea, I know. But it's the way that it's put here, and from a director of nurse education...
Are you suggesting that my job means I'm not allowed to tell the truth?
Did you discuss this article with any of your clinical teachers, your ward sisters? After all, it is their subject as much as yours.
I was invited to write the article. Me. It expressed a personal opinion.
Well, some people might take it to mean that you consider current methods of training old-fashioned and ineffective.
In some respects, that'd be true.
Do you think that members of your staff are going to find that attitude encouraging?
That depends who we're discussing.
How do you mean?
Although I find nurse education in this country ineffective and old-fashioned, I do try, within the confines prescribed for me, to make the training here at St. Angela's the best available anywhere.
I thought we were discussing what the staff felt about it.
Any of my staff who read the whole article instead of taking one or two lines out of context would realise I'm talking about the nursing function well into the next century. I mean, I hope and believe that by then the primary nursing function will be helping families care for their own sick. A concept that I share with many members of your education committee.
Yes. Well, we'll discuss future policies when we've got a little more time at our disposal. Later on. I really must start my inspection now.
Look what she's done to them.
Nobody's touched your flowers.
I'm telling you, she did. Look at that.
Come on, love. Get back to bed, eh?
I don't have to. I can walk about if I like. See some of my friends.
I'll put these flowers in the bin then, shall I, staff, since they're dead?
And why, eh? 'Cause she emptied out the water. And it's no use her pretending to be asleep. She can't fool me.
Which one of your friends did you want to see now, Mrs. Russell?
Well, I haven't made up my mind.
Only everyone else looks pretty occupied to me.
Well, it doesn't matter. I can still walk around if I like. Besides, I might have to answer a call of nature.
Again?
I know why you want me to get back into bed. You got some toff coming to inspect you, and you think I'll make the place untidy. Well, I'm entitled.
Yes, you're entitled, as long as you don't make a nuisance of yourself with the other patients.
Me, a nuisance? Well, what about her? She's the nuisance. Are you going to let her get away with pouring water over my bed?
I don't believe she did.
Well, ask her. Go on, ask her. Oh, wake up, you stupid old trollop.
Mrs. Russell, I can have you removed from this ward.
I know my rights.
What's going on? There's nothing to worry about, Mrs. Purchase.
She's awake now. Go on, ask her.
Ask me what?
Nothing. Look, there are clean sheets and blankets on your bed now, but as you don't seem inclined to get into it, I think we might take the opportunity of moving you down to the other end of the ward. I'm lucky enough to have a bed free there. Now, Slater will move your locker for
Will someone tell me what's going on?
Why should I move? She came after me. She ought to move.
I thought you'd prefer to be with your friends.
Well, I'm not going.
Okay, stay. But I'm not asking you anymore. I'm telling you. You may walk around, go to the lavatory, use the telephone, talk to your friends. What you may not do is disrupt my ward. And I won't let you. Understand?
It wasn't my fault in the first place.
Good.
Hello, I'm Michael Dowsett from the GNC.
Staff Nurse Bow. Acting Sister Bow.
Oh, is this drugs trolley chained as per regulation, staff?
Well, yes, of course.
Oh, really? Now, we ought to remember that not all change is for the better. I mean, take nurse training, for example. Someone like you, I expect you were brought up with the traditional values.
Oh, yes. There's no nonsense about the way I was trained. There was a right way and a wrong way. You knew you were in trouble if you did it the wrong way.
Yes, I'm sure.
These girls may think I'm hard, but this ward's a holiday camp compared to what I knew.
And it doesn't seem to have done you any harm. No, nowadays there seems to be some new training method every month.
That's right. It's hard to keep up with it all.
Mind you, some of them are quite useful, but perhaps there ought to be more consultation.
Exactly. Now, you take this little spot of bother just now. It's nothing I couldn't handle, you understand.
No, of course
But the trouble was a direct result of one of these new ideas you were talking about.
Really?
Now, the learner nurses are doing this problem-solving at the moment, the nursing process. Well, there's nothing wrong with it as an idea, but it ought to be done through someone experienced. Now, we've got a patient out there who, by right, shouldn't be on this ward. She may have been assessed, but I've worked with mental patients, and I know that that's where she belongs.
Which obviously causes you some problems.
Well, like I said, it's nothing I can't handle because I've got the experience. I know that the woman needs attention out of all proportion to the other patients on the ward. I allow for that. But with one of the learner nurses doing this problem-solving with the patient in the next bed, there was bound to be trouble.
This new teaching idea, one of Mr. Hastings' schemes, wasn't it?
The more observant among you will have realised in the short while that you've been with us that there's one major cause of problems in the hospital. One source of irritation which delays the consultants on their rounds and obstructs the smooth running of the most efficient sisters' ward. Who spoils the linen, clutters up the beds? I refer, of course, to that irritating body of people, the patients. Now, unfortunately, despite representations to the ministry, I'm reliably informed they're to remain a permanent feature of hospital life. So you'll just have to learn to live with them. In fact, I'd like you to go further than that and pretend that the hospital was actually run for them. Now, to do that, we need to understand what a patient is. Contrary to what you may have heard, some patients are quite normal people with similar feelings to you or I, which is the reason for this trolley.
Good idea, makes you think. Makes you understand the patient better.
Even if it sometimes causes problems as well as solving them. Well, like today.
Well, I don't think I did anything wrong.
No one's suggesting that you did. It's just that you were trying to put into practice what you'd only been taught in theory.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, so, I mean, if there was a fault, it'd be in the teaching, wouldn't it? In the preparation. Perhaps you weren't quite ready for the practical application of the idea.
The way I see it, there's no point in talking about theory, because it's a doing thing, and that's what I like about it. You see, Staff Bowl may say I'm responsible for Mrs. Russell's carrying on, but she's done it before, hasn't she? She'll do it again. Maybe it'd be a good idea if someone done this problem-solving with her. Either way, we can't run the ward around her, can we?
Intra-aortic balloon assistance is something which you're all likely to come into contact with at St. Angela's. Up to a few years ago, the treatment of cardiogenic shock was only by conservative means. But this is one of the methods whereby mechanical circulatory assistance can be provided for the failing heart, which has the helpful effect of preventing the patient from dying. Now, perhaps one of you would like to explain to us about cardiogenic shock. Nurse Barrett.
Cardiogenic shock results when the pumping action of the heart fails. This causes reduction in forward cardiac output, with results that vital organs lose some of their essential blood supply.
Don't you think you were rather thrown in at the deep end? I'm not criticising, you understand, just suggesting that perhaps the emphasis should have been more on doing things through an experienced member of staff. I'm sure in retrospect you'd agree with that, wouldn't you?
But I've got results. Nobody seems to have noticed that. The woman's got scurvy. Before I started, she wasn't eating a single thing. Now she gets through fruits and vegetables, stuff that's good for her. Okay, so she's still miserable and she still misses her family. I don't know what to do about that except talk, but it's a start.
Yes, but you said yourself you didn't know what to do about her real problems.
But I know they're psychological and not physical. There's no cure for missing people. I miss my brothers. Me and Mrs. Purchase talks about that. It's something we've got in common. So maybe I'm helping both of us. I am happy to do things for an experienced member of staff, as you say, and I've got a lot to learn from them. But sometimes they're not so keen on new ideas, you know? They've got used to doing things in a certain way. And like Mr. Hastings says, the best thing you can bring to a ward is a fresh pair of eyes and an open mind.
Yes. Yes, well, that'll be all for now.
You know that one of the things you'll have to do fairly regularly is to feed patients who are unable to feed themselves. Now, you've probably all got baby brothers, baby sisters at home. Since you've always managed to shovel stewed prunes down them, you think it's going to be easy. Well, feeding a patient is different, or it ought to be. And we're going to do a bit of play acting to demonstrate. Some of us will be patients, and some will be nurses.
Oh, look, I want to be a patient. I'm fed up with playing nurses.
Don't worry, we'll get a chance to try it from both sides. Now, a patient, however sick, is still entitled to human dignity. If there's any way he can feed himself, he'll probably want to, and you've got to let him, even though that means a lot of mess and a waste of time in your busy day. Whoever he is, he's used to being the centre of his own universe, making his own decisions. And the return to the sort of treatment he associates with infancy is going to be a shock. You may know that his particular illness will make him increasingly dependent on others, but that's a big thing for him to accept. While he comes to terms with it, he's going to need all the patience and tact that you can muster. Right. Ron, you can be our first patient. You're an incontinent accident victim whose only functioning limb is his left arm, and that's not much good either. You've been trying to feed yourself, but you've had to give up, so you're irritable. And on top of which, you need moving in the bed from time to time, right? Thank you. OK, who's going to be the first to volunteer to feed Mr. Frost?
Oh, I will. I wouldn't miss this opportunity for the world.
What's on the menu today, then? Oh, right. Mince, congealed gravy, mash and peas, ideal. Right, pull the table up.
Right. Okay.
Very good. Oh, I forgot to mention, the accident made him impotent. Since he hasn't come to terms with it and feels he's got something to prove, you better watch out what he does with his good hand.
Thank you so much.
OK, let battle commence.
Right, Mr. Frost, let's see what we've got.
Have you washed your hands before you start
now,
this?
Come along,
Yeah,
any of your nonsense.
Oh, I wet the bed about an hour ago. It's terribly sticky.
Yeah, well, I'll change the dates. Now, come
No,
on,
she's going to
there.
change you now, actually.
Come along,
Well,
now, Mr. Frost, I don't
You're not
want
gonna...
any of this.
You're breaking my arm.
And now, come
I
on,
thought
get
there was
some
something in
there,
it.
there we go. That wasn't so bad, was it?
Dear me. Oh, please, don't mind me. I just wanted to observe a lecture in progress. Do carry on as if I wasn't here.
Okie doke, carry on.
Yeah, right. OK, now, come on, Mr. Frost. We don't want any of your nonsense there. Get
I'm
that
not very
down.
peckish at the
Come
moment.
on.
The effect of intra-aortic balloon assistance is to increase systemic
Oh, don't move.
And the effect of intra-aortic balloon assistance is to increase systemic arterial pressure and improve myocardial blood flow, while reducing ventricular work, thus decreasing the size of myocardial ischemic injury. The students have done preparatory work on this subject, so I'm hoping they can impress you with their knowledge. Nurse Barrett, perhaps you'd like to tell us about the nursing care programme.
Yes. Well, the patient's got to avoid anxiety, so it's important to relieve any social pressure. Oh, and relatives should be encouraged to visit at least daily.
Yes.
Regular observation.
Yes. Yes. Well, I hope you won't be looking after me if that's all you can remember. Perhaps a little swatting this weekend instead of the all-night parties. So, let's give some thought to the things Nurse Barrett has left out, shall we?
I was thinking.
Yeah?
Yeah, about the babysitting problem. It needn't be.
What?
A problem.
Oh, do you know someone?
We don't need anyone. Could have a good day out, just the three of us.
Oh, why stop at 3? If you've got any toddler chums, why not make it a foursome?
It's not exactly what I had in mind. I was thinking perhaps the zoo or something. And later on, when she's in bed, I could bring some records over and could make an evening of it.
Cosy.
What do you think?
What sort of records do you have in mind? Heavy rock? Trackers, maybe?
Why not? Both enjoyed them the other night. I got the latest album as well, Junction 5.
Yeah, well, Emma doesn't sleep too well through that sort of thing.
Oh, no. I hadn't thought of that. But the zoo is a good idea, isn't it?
I don't know. Us going out's one thing. You steering a pushchair around the zoo's another.
I'm very good with kids.
Yes, I'm sure you are. But it gives people the wrong impression.
Well, so what? As long as we enjoy ourselves.
Look, you don't know what it's like. If you're in my position, everyone thinks you're on the lookout for a substitute father or husband. Yeah, well, I'm not. We get by very well, thank you.
Are you sure? What about her? Might do a good to have a man around. It's only natural.
Oh, God, the arrogance of men. Now, look, you and me get on. Why complicate it? You know, one of the things I hated about being married was being an extension of somebody else.
Huh?
Well, Keith would go to a dinner party with his work, and I'd tag along because, well, that's what wives do. I hated the thought of someone talking to me just because I was his wife. They didn't know the first thing about me. Yeah, well, now I'm on my own. I'm going to have my own relationships. I'll get them wrong or I'll get them right. But it's down to me now. And that's the way I want it. Okay?
Hello, love.
For a non-drinker, you're spending a fair bit of time in here.
Yeah, it's enough to drive you to drink sometimes.
Eh?
Life.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. It's not exactly been your year either, is it? Still, you've not had the official result of your board yet, have you?
I don't need it. I blew it. Makes you sick, the system. I worked my socks off in that hospital and I still didn't really have enough to live on. So I do moonlighting here. This is hard graft too, you know. I go for my board. I think if I get the job, the extra bit of money will be enough and I won't have to do this. And I find I've blown it because I've been moonlighting.
Well, you might not have done it.
I wouldn't take bets on it. Don't mind me, I'm just feeling bitter. I gather your evening wasn't much of a success then.
Well, it seemed to be at the time. We had a good laugh at the lecture together.
What?
Well, she said she couldn't come out with me tonight because of babysitting troubles. Now I hear she's going to the pictures with some red-headed electrician for maintenance.
Big Cyril?
You know him?
Everybody knew Big Cyril. There's not an inch of wire in the nurse's home hasn't been renewed by him. Sometimes twice in 1 week. Want to drown your sorrows? Could go halves on a bottle of rat poison.
No, I've had tomato juice, please. Katie, look, you're a woman. What makes you blow hot and cold, eh?
Not Big Cyril for a start. Now, if you really want to know, I reckon it's the classic pattern, you know, married young, didn't work out. So now she's on the lookout for misspent youth she didn't have.
So, what should I do?
The electrical classes at the Evening Institute? Freak out yourself.
Yeah, make her take some notice, I suppose. What are you doing at the weekend, then?
thought you were all emotional about Anna. On your bike, Sunshine. I've been disillusioned enough for 1 week.
There's still a lot to be said for traditional values and discipline. It seems to me that some people, with the best of intentions, forget that.
How do you mean?
Nurse training is a progressive business. It has to be, because medicine itself is constantly changing. But that doesn't mean anything new has to be introduced at once.
Look, I've got to remind you that the GNC has approved Mr. Hastings' programme. Our worry is more that these ideas aren't getting communicated right down the line, which is causing resentment.
Exactly. And before they've been absorbed, he's asking for even more changes. Most students are young people, fresh from a school background. They need the confidence that comes from a good grounding in the basic nursing skills. If they think everything they learn is going to be changed in a few weeks, it hardly encourages them to work hard. I hope that your report will reflect that some of us still think the old standards are important.
Do you hear what he said?
So everyone knows I'm here then?
Oh, well, there's no secrets to St. Angela's. It's like you and Cor, Shane.
Like you seeing Ken Hastings.
How did that go?
I don't know, really. I just gave him an ultimatum.
Oh, you gave him one?
Yes?
Getting a bit militant in your old age, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. Listen, I'll see you later, because I mustn't be late.
Where are you going?
Flicks.
Anything good on?
Do you know?
Oh, well, you must be losing your charms, Ron.
Huh?
Well, she didn't ask you to go with her. I wonder what she's up to.
Search me.
How's she doing on A&E?
Fantastic.
Great.
Oh, glad somebody's doing all right.
Hey, did you get a visit during your lecture?
Oh, yeah, with Maggie Constant coming to school mom bit.
Hoping it'll do us some good if there's a night at the Long Knives.
What do you mean?
Well, Ken Hastings has rubbed a lot of people up the wrong way if he was to resign.
Oh, no, she's too young for the job. Anyway, he hasn't done anything really wrong. He won't go.
Well, it depends what's in the report. I mean, if it recommends all the things he disagrees with, is he just going to lie down, let them all walk over him?
If I was on his money, I'd sit back and enjoy life.
Yeah, well, he's not like you. He's got principles. Mind you, it'd be a mistake to underestimate him. To get to be a DNE at his age, you've got to be clever and ambitious. And a bit ruthless with it, if he was to hang on. I bet he'd get his own back on Margaret Constant.
But these changes mean new equipment and at least 2 totally new appointments at a senior level. You must be aware that I don't have access to a bottomless purse. In the current economic climate, it's unlikely that St. Angela's will be able to support the staff she already employs, let alone anyone new.
Really? Could you be a bit more specific about that?
Look, it's been a long day. I haven't got time to give you a lecture in economics. You know the financial situation this country's in as well as I do. You can draw your own conclusion.
I didn't think we were discussing the whole country, just which jobs at St. Angela's you meant were at risk.
It's not my brief to discuss that with you or with anybody else.
Look, there are a lot of rumours going around that our casualty department may be forced to close. Have you got any comments on that?
Oh, I don't listen to gossip.
There'll be a quick way for you to stop it. If you deny these rumours, that would reassure people. A simple statement, that's all it needs.
Good night, Mr. Hastings. It's been very interesting talking to you.